Okay, good morning, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us for today's webinar, How to Grow Your Prospect List. My name is Craig Stouffer. I'm with Pinpointe, and I'm joined today, thankfully, by Bob Bly, who's a noted internet strategist, copywriter, and all-around great educator. We've now done, I believe, 5 or 6 different webinars with Bob, and we always get some great feedback from folks. So the information is always in high demand, so we're very happy to be joined here. There we go. So before we start, just a few housekeeping items. So everybody's on mute. We've got quite a few hundred people, I think, that have signed up, so everybody's on mute except Bob and I, of course. The event is being recorded, so I'll repeat that throughout the event. For those of you that are joining, we do have, or we will have a on-demand version that will be available. We will also send out the slides in the slide deck. Watch for that next Tuesday, possibly next Wednesday in your email. We'll send a follow-up. Also, this event and the on-demand version of the slides are available for free, so we do ask to spread the word. Pass along the information to your friends, colleagues, enemies, whatever. Post it, tweet it, Facebook. We'd love it if you could share the information around for folks. As I said, we get great feedback on the quality of the content. We also will be putting together a question and answer white paper. So if you can, throughout the event, go ahead and put your questions up. Now, I may not be able to answer them directly by Bob speaking because it may interfere with the mouse a little bit, and I don't want to do that, but I'll try to get to some of them. But please post your questions because we will get together, as I said, a white paper. At the last event, I think we ended up with 7 or 8 pages of questions. So do get them in. We want this to be as interactive and helpful for everybody relative to their specific needs. So please do get the information in or the questions in, and we'll get them worked in. Also, a good way is for those of you that are on Twitter, go ahead and tweet your questions directly. You can see at Pinpointe or at Robert Bly. And we'll that way, not only will we get to answer them, but we'll get to share the responses with other attendees and folks. Okay, we have real quick a special offer for the attendees that are here. For Bob, first of all, we have 4 free marketing reports worth over $100. You can go and download those at the URL there, www.bly.com/reports. Again, we've got some great feedback from customers that really like that, the information there. For Pinpointe, for anybody who would like to try to use Pinpointe, or would like to use Pinpointe for the email service provider, what we can do is we offer a free month of service. You can go to the URL there. And then when you enter the shopping cart, you can enter the coupon code noted, and that'll give you a free month of service for whatever size, up to several 100,000 emails per month if you like. With that, I'll do the 20-second intro to Pinpointe, and then I will intro Bob, and we'll get started. Pinpointe, just about us, Pinpointe is a business class email marketing provider. We have over 6,000 companies using the Pinpointe platform, mostly mid-sized businesses or business-to-business. We do both business-to-business and business-to-consumer. It's just that most of our customers are actual businesses. So get better email results with Pinpointe. Pinpointe, we've had people say, is sort of a constant contact on steroids with lots of additional features and great snappy user interface. So that's it on the Pinpointe plug. And now a little background on Bob, and we will dive right in. So Bob is, as I mentioned, a well-known internet strategist and copywriter, prolific author of over 75 books. I don't think I've read 75 books in my life. He's written 75 books. Bob has appeared on TV and radio. He has a wide range of customers and clients, ranging from IBM to AT&T and so forth. And he's also helped a wide range of clients with their email copywriting, their marketing, direct marketing, and more. So he's available also for folks that are interested. So we're real pleased to be joined here by Bob. Okay, and with that, I'm going to hand it over to you, Bob. I've got the little arrow there. You should be able to do the control. And if for some reason we get caught up, just let me know, and we'll do the slide number thing, and I'll forward for you if we need to.
That sounds good, Craig. Hi, everybody. Today we're talking about how to build your prospect base with the Agora model. And, of course, I will explain and show you what the Agora model is very shortly. But first, a little background. We originally titled this session, How to Generate Leads. And lead generation is what we are talking about. There's a slightly different model that takes place online versus offline. Let's take a look at what the difference is. So here is what we call the customer or client acquisition process. How do you use marketing to turn someone you don't know into a prospect and into a customer? Well, you have the potential client unit in the upper left you have the potential client universe. Everyone who would be a good fit for the product or service you are selling. And you can qualify that using a formula we call MAD-FU. And by FU, I don't mean the pejorative or four-letter word. MAD-FU stands for money, authority, desire, fit, and urgency. So it means the people in the universe who you want to pick out and convert from strangers to prospects to customers are those who have the money to afford what you're selling, the authority to make the purchase, have a strong desire to own the product or more likely get the benefits it delivers. In terms of FU, fit, they're a good fit for your company, for your business, and U is urgency. They have a need to solve a problem or get a benefit now rather than later. So in the process of acquiring new customers, we send out, whether offline or online, a lead-generating promotion. Could be a paper sales letter, direct mail package. Could be an email marketing blast. Could be Google, a pay-per-click AdWords campaign, many other things. And we'll look at what those would be in a minute. You get a response. Well, most of the people on your list don't respond, and so you could either just ignore them, or better, you could go back and hit them with another lead-generating promotion, try to increase your response. For those who say yes, you basically fulfill the inquiry. You provide the information or the response that they were looking for and that they asked for. And if you get a no to that, you can go back to the beginning. But if you get a yes, then you start moving forward. You can define the prospect's project or need, give them a quote for a solution. If they accept it, you've made a sale. So that's the client acquisition process. It happens a little differently online, however, than offline. Offline, and let's just, for simplicity's sake, use paper direct mail as the representative of offline marketing. Offline, you can rent a list of people you don't know. You can pay for it, $150, $140 per thousand. Send a lead-generating promotion to it, a paper direct mail package, and get leads or even sales from it. However, we find that, and excuse me a minute, I'm just looking for my control, there it is, that the same question comes up online. People say to me all the time, can I use a rented list online the way I do offline? And the answer is no. Sending an email to a rented list to try to get people to buy something usually gets a very poor ROI. And it doesn't work all that well to send an email to a rented list, even to generate leads. There are many more effective lead generation methods online. So a rented list doesn't work. What works is having your own email list. The best list to email is your own in-house list of opt-in names. And the question that comes up is, if I don't have an email list, I don't have people signed up and subscribing to me, I don't have a list of people I can email, how do I get such a list? How do I build my e-list in the first place? And that's where the Agora model comes in. And now I'm going to show you how to generate leads online so you can build your e-list quickly and profitably at a reasonable cost. The basis of the Agora model is a concept that Quiris Inc. Talked about almost a decade ago in an article in DM News, where they were talking about who opens emails and who do they open emails from. And they said marketers will have to enter that emerging inner circle, that's the inner circle concept, of trusted companies from whom people are willing to keep reading email. The idea is that you know that you don't read emails from most of the people who send you emails. And the number one reason is you don't recognize the sender, or you don't know the sender. Conversely, the number one reason why you will open an email is that you recognize, know, and respect the sender. So if you're in IT and you get an email from IBM, you're probably going to read it. If you get an email from the publisher of your favorite e-zine and you like reading that e-zine, then you're going to open it. And Clear has found the inner circle and the rule of 16 that on average, the average person had a list of 16 sources or from line names that where they would automatically and without hesitation at least open the email and start reading it. So the idea of the Agora model is, how do I get in that inner circle? How do I become one of the from line sources, one of the sources from which the recipients will open and read the email because it is from me or because it is from you? Here's how the Agora model works. You'll notice in the center there's a red box that says free e-newsletter, free e-zine. You set up a page, which I'll show you in a moment, online where people can subscribe to your free e-newsletter. And yes, in the Agora model, you have an e-newsletter. If you don't want to produce an e-newsletter or an e-zine, I'll show you shortly a variation of the Agora model that works just as well, but eliminates the need for you to publish a monthly or other scheduled newsletter. But in the Agora model, pioneered by Agora Publishing, which is a large publisher of consumer newsletters, paid subscription newsletters in investments, health, and travel, and some political topics, you put up a page on the web where people can subscribe to your free e-newsletter and do nothing else. That's the only purpose of the page. It is not the home page of your website. It is a separate page. Then you use all the traffic generation methods in the gold ovals or the yellow ovals to drive traffic, not to product pages where people can purchase stuff, but drive traffic to the free e-zine sign-up page. And what are some of those methods? Well, if you go from the bottom left and go clockwise, social media, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Google+, Foursquare. You can use some paper mailings, postcards, and sales letters. Banner ads on the internet, very effective pay-per-click advertising if you can buy the clicks for your keywords at a price that allows you to acquire names at an affordable price. Search engine optimization. You can optimize your website and free e-zine page so it gets more traffic. Co-registration deals. Blogging can drive traffic. You can drive traffic from your blog articles. Pop-unders. That's when you're on a website and you try to leave and a window pops up and says, wait, don't leave yet until you claim your free special gift. So that's a way to get traffic to your free e-zine page. Articles, both internet articles and offline articles. Affiliate promotions, when you make a sale of the, when affiliates make a sale for your product and the buyer goes to your web page to buy it, you capture their email address. Online ads, editorial mentions, PR, and of course emails as mentioned earlier. So you use all these methods to drive traffic to the free e-zine page where people sign up for the newsletter, and that becomes your house e-list. Once they sign up, you own those names, so to speak, and you can email to those people whenever and as often or as infrequently as you wish at virtually no cost. Just the modest cost that Pinpointe will charge you for the email distribution, but you don't pay to rent the names. They're your names. That's why the Agora model works so well. It reduces the marketing cost to a tiny fraction of what it would be if you had to rent email names each time, which would be very expensive, in the areas of $150 to $200 to $300 per thousand names, and with a response rate much, much lower than you would get with your house e-list. So when you combine the lower cost with the greater response rate, there's no competition. Emailing consistently to your house e-list beats hands down any other online marketing you can do. Now we talked about that variation or that alternative to the Agora model. You say, I like the idea, but we don't have the resources to produce consistently a good quality newsletter, an online newsletter. As an alternative, you can use basically the same model, using all those gold ovals, online ads, postcards, emails, PR, co-registration deals. You can use all those same ovals to drive traffic to a page, but instead of offering a subscription to an e-newsletter, which you don't have, you offer them a piece of free content. You take something, maybe it's an article that you wrote for a trade publication, whatever. You repurpose existing content as a downloadable PDF freebie, a special report, some type of free content, and you offer them on that page the ability to download that free content in exchange for giving you their name and their email address. In the Agora model, you offer them a subscription to a free e-zine, again, in exchange for them giving you their name and their email address. Now, once you have them download the free content in the online conversion model, they're not going to normally be hearing from you again because there is no e-newsletter, versus with the Agora model, they'll hear from you as frequently as you publish your e-newsletter. But here, since they are not set up to get anything further from you, you have to set up a way to reach out to them. And the best way to do it is to use an autoresponder to deliver a sequence of marketing messages, which we would call the conversion series, the online conversion email series. And it would be somewhere between 5 to 7 emails. Could be more, could be fewer, but 5 to 7 is typical. If we had 5 emails, the first 2 would be what we call free touch. We wouldn't be trying to sell them anything. We would just be building a relationship with them. One approach in the free touch email is to talk about and reference the free content they got from you. You might say, I hope you're enjoying your special report on topic ABC. On page 7, we give a really innovative technique for doing XYZ, and you may want to check that out. In other words, you sell or you sell the free content that you gave them and get them to engage with it. After the first couple of emails that are what we call free touch, the rest are conversions, where you might give them a risk-free offer, a trial offer on a low-paid product or service to convert them from a prospect into a customer. Because what we find is that 90% of the people on your e-list who are going to become a paying customer will do so within 90 days of getting on the list. Therefore, the more prospects on your list, on your newly acquired list, you can get to become buyers soon, in the next few weeks, the better off you'll be long term, because they will become people who are paying customers versus those who just seek freebies. Why do people subscribe to emails from businesses? The number one reason is that they, from businesses or nonprofits. Well, for nonprofits, it's often that they want to support a cause or nonprofit they like. For emails from businesses, the primary reason is the desire to stay informed on an ongoing basis, which means an e-newsletter is the perfect vehicle. If you can put out valuable content, and today, there are certain trends that are very ever-present in marketing. Social media is a huge trend. QR codes is a trend. Content marketing, what we're talking about now, is a trend. And if you can provide your subscribers, people on your list, with valuable content on a regular basis, which an e-zine does, that'll be a reason for them to subscribe and stay subscribed. So to stay informed, to gain access to exclusive content, I should point these out, and then also to get promotions, discounts, and offers. People subscribe, and so you should, in addition to offering content, you should have discounts and special offers on your products in your emails and your e-zines.
Hey, Bob.
Yep.
Hey, one question that just came up is, let's see, it was on this one. What do you recommend for the timing of each of the free touches on your conversion emails? So relevant to this page and the previous one, then I have one quick follow-up question for you.
Okay, so in terms of timing, at the beginning, they're generally very tightly spaced. The first free touch would come the day after that, or the same day, either the same day or the day after they received your free content. Probably the second effort would come a day later. The third effort would come 2 days later. The fourth effort would come 2 days later. The fifth effort might come 3 days later. So they're very tightly spaced so as to keep up a momentum.
Yeah, and I can add that's very consistent. I mean, we've had customers that have tried, various ends of the spectrum to add to that, and we've had customers that have tried even as frequently as they sign up and then they get like 2 hours and 2 hours and 4 hours, and that doesn't work. I mean, because then the recipient just feels like they're getting pummeled with emails, and they're very quick to not only unsubscribe but also report you. So that sounds like a very consistent timing. That's good. And then another question that's come up is. I think you're going to go through this. I'll pop these in if you can work them into the presentation. The first is, can you explain a little bit more about co-registration? And another question, just to kind of work into your presentation, was about companies that do or do you know specific companies, or how would people find companies, vendors, whatever, that might do a cost per lead as opposed to a cost per click type program? You know, like I've done stuff in the past, for example, with various publications, right, where they do a X dollars per, per lead type program. So if you could work both of those in, those questions have come up for us.
In terms of the second one first, I don't have a list of companies in front of me, but if you look on the vendors page on my website, bly.com, we're going to be adding a list of these companies within the next week or two. So check back in a week, and you should see that posted. In terms of co-registration, here's how co-registration works. If you've ever been on a website where you sign up for the website, you register, and it gives you a page where you check a box to register, and then there's a line that says, are you interested in any of these other offers? And there are 5 or 6 other things you could check off. Get a free analysis of your retirement savings, and there are a bunch of different things to check. The people who are those 5 or 6 secondary positions to the main offer pay for the privilege of being there. They pay the website owner to being there, and that's co-registration advertising. And you would normally need to go to one of the online ad agencies just as like an ad agency will buy banner space and for you. They can also buy co-registration deals. At one time, this was very prevalent. It was overused, and certainly, the effectiveness of it and the popularity has declined. But there are still good ones out there, and I've used them fairly recently with fairly good results. So it's not a dead thing, as some people think.
Yeah, and I would add sort of a final thought on that is the simplest way for co-registration, or a simple example, is something like this, where we're both, we have 2 different companies doing a joint event, like a webinar, jointly promoting to our relevant audience. I can tell you that our audience that signs up for Bob's events, for example, we get great feedback. They have a very low, unsubscribe rate, and very positive experience and so forth. And we actually get quite a few, proactive, emails and content, emails and feedback emails. So anyway, that's another sort of semi-example, not exactly co-registration, but working together in partnership.
No, I mean, that's a form of it, and that's definitely a good example. So here we talked about that page where they sign up for your e-newsletter. Here's mine. You can find this at, where Craig mentioned earlier, bly.com/reports, www.bly.com/reports. This is what you'll find. There's nothing here, and no navigation, no click choices, no interactivity. All there is this text and the ability to either sign up for the newsletter or not. And notice that this is offering, even though it says sign up for a free, no commitment subscription, here we go, to my monthly e-newsletter on direct marketing. Even though we're offering that, we start by saying get 4 free special reports worth over 100. This is known as a free-on-free name squeeze page. It's a name squeeze page because it takes traffic and squeezes names and email addresses out of them. Free-on-free means it's offering you a free e-newsletter, and as a bribe or premium for subscribing to that free e-newsletter, it offers you a free bonus. So it combines the two methods we talked about earlier, offer of an e-newsletter, offer of free content. And this free-on-free approach works very well, much better than either of the others alone. And I recommend it really. I recommend it really for everyone. Okay, what we are using in that free-on-free squeeze page, those 4 reports can be referred to as bait pieces, like bait and fishing. What is a bait piece? Well, if you think of the prospect as a fish and the marketer as the person fishing, what do you need to hook them? You need bait on the hook, and in this case, it's a worm. In our case, on online marketing, it's a free offer. It could be free service, it could be free coaching, but usually it's a free content offer. So here's one of those reports that I offer on my free bly.com/reports page. I offer 4 reports, and this is one of them. It's called Online Marketing That Works. It's about 50 pages, so it's a lot of content. You don't need to have that much. You could have something that literally is a tip sheet, which means 10 or 12 tips on a single side of 8.5 by 11 PDF. But I use a more substantial bait piece, and I've tested that, and it works well for me. Maybe it won't for you. Might be overkill for you. And notice on the upper right corner of the report, I have the price of $29. Doing this on a bait piece, a free report such as Online Marketing That Works, adds perceived value. Now, the criticism you might have is you're saying, well, you're just making that up. It's not the value. But that's not so. If you were to go to my website, bly.com, and click on reports, you would see all my reports that I give away free for sale on a shopping cart, and we do actually sell them at $29 each. Do we proactively market them? No, but they are there, and people do stumble across them and buy them. So when we say this report is worth $29, we're not making it up as so many others do. It actually is the value of the report. That's a little tip or trick that I like to do. It adds a little more credibility to the whole promotion. Here's the general formula when you're using a bait piece. It's LGM plus BPO equals 2 times RRR. What does that mean? It means whatever you take the lead generation marketing you're going to do, an email, a landing page, a pay-per-click ad, a print ad as shown here. Here was a print ad I ran for my copywriting services in DM News. A print ad, a press release campaign. You take whatever lead generating method, LGM, you were going to use, and you add to it a BPO, a bait piece offer. The result is you will get 2 times the RRR, 2 times the regular response rate you would have gotten to that promotion had you not added the bait piece. So that is how it doubles the number of leads you will get as a rule of thumb. LGM plus BPO equals 2 times regular response rate. It might be a little more than that for you. It might be less, but it's almost never. I can't really think of a time when I have seen it fail to increase response by at least 10, 20%, and usually much more. Now, where does this bait piece fit in the sales cycle? Well, it's easy. Here's your lead generation promotion. And within it, you make a bait piece offer, a BPO. The prospect either requests the bait piece or doesn't. If they don't, you go back to that list and send them another promotion. If they do request the bait piece, you fulfill that request. Online, we fulfill it with an autoresponder where we typically send them a link where they can view and download the free content or the report or whatever it is that they requested. Then we follow up. That online, that can be done with an autoresponder and those sequence of emails, free touch and conversion emails that we looked at before. After that follow-up sequence, they'll either make a purchase or not. If they don't make a purchase, you put them back into a system that continues with follow-up. Having an e-zine automatically gives you that system, because they're always, an e-zine is like follow-up every month or however frequently you publish it. When they do purchase, then you've closed the sale. And that's how the bait piece fits into the sales cycle, online and offline.
Hey, Bob.
Yep.
A question that's come up, I think this is a good relevant one. We've had this come up in similar, in previous webinars. Basically, the person says, I write in a very specific vertical industry, right? I'm in a very specific vertical, and they're wondering whether the model that we're going through here requires greater diversity of content, or do you have to be in an educational or information-based business? And I would augment that a little bit more and say, for broader question, do these things or the techniques you're talking about only apply to information type or electronic information?
Oh, no,
services?
they're really not designed for that. They're really designed for what I would call traditional businesses. Because we mentioned earlier the big marketing trend of content marketing, which everyone on this call is familiar with. Basically, content marketing, and we did I don't know if there's a library of our past webinars that is open to people, Craig, but that was what we covered in our webinar on white papers. Basically, that you can promote any product or service, a professional service, a technical service, a consumer product, hardware and software marketed to IT professionals. You can promote all these products with content. And the greatest example of that is the flood tide of white papers, free content used to promote IT software to enterprise software to IT professionals, probably the largest category of content marketing. And so these techniques work better with those audiences because the response rates are higher since the information is more specific. Basically, the narrower the market niche, the narrower and more specific your business, the higher your response rates to all of these will be. The people who have the toughest time are people who are selling something or going to a more general, broader market, like you discussed, like information marketing, who don't have proprietary content like our listener does, who asked the question, who don't have a proprietary content they can share. So quite the opposite. It works better with real companies and narrow vertical markets.
Great, thanks. Yeah, and I'll summarize that a little bit more too, which is use the opportunity to create content, high value content for your prospect base, right? That's going to be educational and informative in nature, and that also allows you, not only from a lead gen perspective, not only allows you to generate leads, but will also help to position you within your specific vertical as a thought leader and as a leader, and that will ultimately drive other people and prospects and links on the web and so forth to your content. So strategies to go into that a little bit further, but nonetheless, the point is creating good content will also move you towards being perceived as a thought leader within your industry or within your segment.
I agree, and if you're not really that familiar with the content marketing model, or you don't practice it right now, I will give a shameless self-plug. My book, The White Paper Marketing Handbook, will tell you how to do it. It's all about content marketing, how to create content, package content, and do marketing campaigns built around free content. And it's The White Paper Marketing Handbook by Robert Bly, B-L-Y, and you can get it on Amazon.com. So here on this slide 17, we're looking at a page from my Facebook page, and the point is that social media, which I am not very active in, is an effective way, if you have enough followers and friends, is an effective way to generate leads. For example, and I forget my exact number, but I've got a couple of thousand friends, and I sent a message to my friends saying that I had those 4 free reports, and we got dozens of signups immediately at no cost just by promoting it to my Facebook list. If you can imagine that if I had a significant number, many thousands of Facebook fans, I would have gotten many more signups to the newsletter. Here's a little trick that works to get leads online. On your website, put some useful tools, some online tools. These are widgets or pieces of software that have some functionality that the reader can benefit from. For example, on my website, fly.com, as it says in this article, this is actually a press release we sent out to the marketing magazines. I have a tool called dmresponsecalculator.com, www.dmresponsecalculator.com, which you can get on also from my main website, fly.com. And it lets people in direct marketing calculate what it would take to get a break-even response to a direct mail campaign. What response rate do you have to get so that your direct mail campaign breaks even or generates 50% ROI, 100% ROI, etc. And the way it generates leads is when you send people to this tool, they have to register. They have to submit their name and their email address before they are allowed to use the tool. And we sent this press release out to some marketing publications. The marketing report, I think it's Progressive Business Publications, their newsletter. The marketing report picked it up, and we got, I don't want to say the wrong thing, but I think we got 74 new subscriptions just from a 2-sentence mention in their newsletter. And I don't know their circulation. Here you can see on my main site, www.bly.com, where I have my free DM ROI calculator. So you can go to the URL I mentioned earlier, or go to my website and just click onto that graphic and use the tool. But you have to register if you have not already done so. Here's another way to collect leads on your website. Have a contact form. You'll notice on bly.com, where I sell my copywriting services, there's a post-it that says "Need great copy? Click here now." And when they click on that, they go to a form where they fill in their name, their address, their phone number, and so on. Now, I use this mainly to collect leads for my copywriting services, my professional services. But everyone who fills this in is also added up to the e-newsletter. And of course, on all the pages, we have a specific newsletter offer also present. Press releases are a good way to attract leads, to get leads, because they optimize the website where your capture forms are existing. You can see that we have a press room, and we have my press releases are posted there. You often get more marketing value from posting the press releases than you do sending it out to the media sometimes. And here, what we do is we put our appropriate keywords within the text of the press releases themselves. By doing so, this helps optimize your page. So you get more traffic, more people seeing your newsletter sign-up box, and I'm trying to find somehow Greg, I'm having a slight problem. There it is. There you go. Yeah, it just didn't pop up. And it drives traffic toward your newsletter sign-up box. So you optimize with press releases. Don't neglect that. You also want to optimize your site with meta tags, which are words or phrases that are embedded within the HTML code of your site that create the text and graphics. If you want to look at this and you haven't done it, I'm sure most of you have, But if you want to look at this, you go to your browser's toolbar, you choose the View menu, then click on Source, and a window will open up with HTML text that you can study. You can do this for your website if you haven't looked at it, but you can also do this with anyone else's website. It's not locked. It's open for view. If you're creating your own website, depending on which software you use, all you have to do is add meta tags in the appropriate places. The key meta tags for marketing purposes are the title, there's a typo, shouldn't say title, should say title, description, and keyword. These three are the key meta tags, and they control what surfers see when your site is listed on the search engine. So it helps decide whether people will visit your site. Keywords are the terms your prospects and visitors will type into the search engine when they're looking for your product or service. So consider the keywords and phrases that might be used to describe your service or product. Put these keywords in your meta tags. You should include your keywords to increase traffic to your site and to your sign-up box. You should include your keywords in the first 25 words of your homepage. And this isn't a presentation on SEO. Perhaps we'll have one, or you've had one already, Craig, on it. And there's many, many other rules. I'm just scratching a little bit of the surface, but that's a key one. Have to determine what your keywords are and put them prominently on your homepage. I've done this, and it will really increase your search engine ranking. Like if you search direct response copywriter in Google, you'll find I rank fairly high. You know, it varies with the week, but some weeks I'm on the top 5. I'm often in the top 5, sometimes in the top 2. And a big part of that is using the keywords in the homepage. And there are tools online that will help you determine your keywords. One of them that I like is wordtracker.com. Google also has its keyword research tool. So if you type into Google the phrase Google Keyword Research Tool, you'll find that free tool there. WordTracker gives you a free trial, but they charge plenty. If getting prospects or subscribers to an e-zine are your primary goal, make your sign-up box very prominent on your website. So here was a sign-up box I used for many years. We had at the top a free content offer. Sign up to receive the free report, how to double your response rates at half the cost. This is when we were giving just one report instead of the 4 we give today. So the free content offer. We asked for just the name and email address, because the less information you ask, the greater the conversion rate. Every additional field that you put there, because you say, well, I really want to know the guy's title. I really want to know her street address. I really want to know the phone number. You know, you got to think about what do you really need to know, because each field you add reduces the conversion rate, the sign-up rate, by about 10%. You should have a privacy statement so that if you don't rent or swap your names on your e-list, you should say so. That'll increase sign-up. For a newsletter, it's a good idea to post an archive of all the back issues. And then at the bottom, I had my e-newsletter title and the benefits that it offers. Now, I said not doing swapping name, but something different is called an e-list swap. And this is a great way. It's not the same as swapping names. What it means is you find people who have an e-list similar with prospects, identical or similar to the ones you want to reach. And you go to that marketer and say, let's do this. Send an email to your list, Mrs. Marketer, Ms. Marketer. Send an email to your list advertising my offer, my free-on-free squeeze page or whatever it is. In exchange, I'll do the same for you. And I did this with The Voice of Sanity, which is a conservative author Robert Ringer's list. And he made an offer to his readers getting my e-newsletter, the direct response letter, for free. And within 48 hours, I got over 900 names, new names, free. That's how many of his people from his list, 20 or 25,000, signed up for my list. And once they sign up for my list, they're my name. I don't have to rent them from him anymore. I own them. And, of course, vice versa. Email, while we said email to a cold or rented list is not as effective as email to a house list, email can generate leads for you. If you pick the right list and have a strong enough offer and good creative copy and design, email can, going to a rented list, generate leads, people who sign up for your free content and your e-newsletter. And here's an example of one. This was for I think it was for Bacon's publicity service, where it's one of the press release distribution services, but they didn't promote the service in the e-newsletter. They promoted free content, as we've talked about. It's a special report called Perfect Pitch, how to get heard in a 24/7 news cycle, which is a timely and very big issue in PR right now. And so this was a successful email for Bacon. Why would someone open an email like that? Well, as we talked about, the top reason that someone opens it, the rule of 16, is that they recognize and respect and want to hear from the organization it is from. The second factor that determines the open rate is the subject line, how strong is it? Then the offer that is being made, i.e. free white paper versus promoting a service, which is stronger. Then the first few lines of the body of the email. The lead is the most critical part of the email. Click-through rates vary, but if we move down this list, for free offers sent to your house list, you could expect a click-through rate from the email. In other words, a click-through rate being, if the click-through rate is 10%, that means for every 100 emails I send, 10 of those people click on the link to go to the page or the landing page or the website that it connects to. So for a free offer sent to your house e-list, 6 to 10% is typical. For sales offers, when you're selling a product or service sent to your house list, 3 to 5%. So that's the range of the click-throughs, anywhere from like 3 to 10, 3 to 12%. Again, the narrower, hard word to say, the narrower the niche, the higher the response rates will be. Matt Fury, who's a successful internet marketer in the consumer space, gave at a seminar in which I copied down some notes, his 4 email copywriting secrets, and that I think work well for sending emails. Number 1, brevity. Messages are 500 words or less. Number 2, intimacy. He makes his messages feel like they are personally addressed to the reader. It sounds like one person talking to another. Along those lines, informality. He creates a bond with his readers by writing like he speaks and uses slang the readers recognize as their mutual language. And pace. He varies the pace of his writing so you never feel like it is slowing down. He mixes short and long sentences, short and long paragraphs, so it has a flow and it keeps moving. And those are Matt's 4 principles: brevity, intimacy, informality, and pace. Another method of generating leads that I like is ads in other people's e-newsletters. This is an ad that an IT firm, I think they were enterprise software publisher, placed in Computer World. And it was offering a white paper on troubleshooting application response time. These simple text ads can pull a significant number of leads, but what's important about them is running an ad in an e-newsletter reaches the same audience as sending a solo email to that same subscriber list, but costs much less, probably costs between 1/4 to 1/8 the price of doing paying for a solo email to the same list. So so it's a good way to test a list before you rent it and mail to it is to do an ad in their e-zine. And again, I'm not getting my commands to pop up. You want to? Yeah, let me just click it and see if that. Can you forward it one?
Yeah, there we go.
There it goes. Yeah, it just didn't pop up again. At the e-zine close, when you publish an e-zine, the e-zine should be content, but at the end of it, it's okay to make a short pitch or a soft sell for your company's product or service. And here's the message we put at the end of at the end of my e-newsletter. Okay, for some reason it's lost response to my arrow. Can you forward it one?
Sure.
Yeah.
There we go.
A good way to make sales and generate leads is with a special offer to people who read your e-newsletter, to people who get your opt-in emails. Here's one that I put in my e-zine years ago when email marketing was just coming into its own, and I was offering to my list that I would write an email for them, which something I do for a fee. I charge for that. I would write an email for them at a reduced rate in exchange for them letting me publish the results or in exchange for telling me, not even publishing, telling me the results that they got with the email that I gave them. And we had 12 people take advantage of that, so I could have had 12 projects, 12 sales, and we took on 3 of them. There we go again. Now I can move it. Here, instead of offering a service, I offered a premium, free content. In this case, it was an audio cassette. Today, it would be a CD, but back then we still used audio cassettes. An audio cassette of a teleseminar I did somewhat like this one called Selling Your Software with Direct Mail. And we put this little paragraph in my e-newsletter, and it generated 200 leads of companies that were interested in selling software with direct mail and did so in 48 hours. I would have had to mail, at a 1% response rate, I would have had to mail 20,000 sales letters, to my to a list to generate the same response. And that would have cost a lot and taken forever. But sales letters can be used to generate leads and do effectively generate leads. Here's one for a company that sort of is in the scrap metal business. When you throw out old computers, they dispose of them in a proper, secure way, an environmentally responsible way. And they were offering information on their services in their letter, but they all, as a PS, they offered a free white paper on how to handle electronic asset disposal to save money and reduce any legal liabilities and security liabilities. And notice the reply cards, if you're going to do this, stress the free offer in your mailing. The reply card says, send me your free white paper. There's a picture of the white paper. There's a little burst that says yours free. The first button, the first checkbox says, send me your free white paper. The more you stress your offer, this is true everywhere, online and offline, in whatever promotion you're doing, the more you stress the offer, the higher your response rate. Here's again another paper letter that was used to generate leads. And this was done. This was sent to people in charge of municipal water and wastewater supplies, offering them a filtering system superior to what they would otherwise be considering, which was carbon. And the lead sentence identifies the prospect. This is a good copywriting technique. Identifies the prospect directly, so the reader immediately knows whether it's for her or not. Do you have a potable water supply or waste stream that contains organic contaminants? And this got an 11% response. It was many years ago, and I don't know what it would do today, but that's a pretty high response for a paper direct mail letter. You can use online and print ads. Here's an ad that we use to generate leads for a company that repaired surgical tables. Surgical tables rebuilt, free loaners available. And the copy begins, do you have an aging, worn-out surgical table that you haven't sent out for repair because you can't afford the operating room OR downtime? Call Medricon today. So space ads can work. Give talks. I'm giving a talk to you guys now, and this can generate leads. Give talks live. Use what I call the green sheet method. Talk about some content or resource that you have while you're giving your speech, and print a copy of it on a green piece of paper. And then when you're talking about it, let's say maybe it's a resource guide of websites related to your topic. Then mention that you have it and hold up that green sheet of paper. And then tell people, if you're interested in getting this, I'll give you a free copy. If you come up to me at the end of the talk and ask me for a copy of the green sheet. Now, you don't bring the green sheets with you. You take their business cards. So you collect leads and then email them a PDF of the content they want. If you were to bring copies, then there's no need for them to give you their card, and you wouldn't be capturing the lead. So use the green sheet method when you give talks to capture leads. Write articles and columns in trade publications. It's a good way to generate leads. And further, trade your content for ad space. I wrote a series of 4 articles for DM News magazine, the trade paper, and they gave me a full-page tabloid ad free, which normally sold for $7,000 in response. And we sent this out, and one of the offers in the ad was a subscription to my free e-newsletter. I think it's number 7 on the list. Second column, here. Second column, free e-newsletter. And we got, from this ad, over 75 people who were interested in my copywriting services primarily, but also requested a subscription to the e-newsletter. And it wouldn't have been economical if I paid for it, but since I got it for free, by further, in reward for, in essence, further promoting myself anyway, it was quite worthwhile. When you're writing a lead-generating piece of copy, the formula is called the motivating sequence. You do it this way. Number 1, get the reader's attention. Number 2, state the problem the product solves, or the question it answers, or the need it fulfills. Number 3, position your product as the solution. Number 4, offer proof that yours is a superior product. And number 5, ask for action. Have an offer, whether lead generating or direct response. And here's just a copy, because we're running out of time. I won't read through this, but here's a copy of a letter I used to generate leads for my copywriting services. And you can see it follows this classic formula. Get attention, identify the problem, position your product as a solution, offer proof that it is a solution, and call. 5, ask for action. Here's the reply card for that promotion. And one thing that's missing here is there should be a box that says sign me up for your free e-newsletter. And that's just an omission on my part. When we use this letter today, we certainly have it. Follow up. We talked about following up with an autoresponder. If you don't follow up your leads, you might close 10% of them. If you follow up your leads consistently, you probably triple your conversion rate and close 30% of them. So follow-up definitely pays. The idea, again, is not just to build a list, not just to get leads, but to convert as many of those names on the list as possible, as many of the subscribers to sale. How to profit from LinkedIn. You can, I won't read it because we're out of time, but you can use LinkedIn to generate leads. You can use Facebook to generate leads. And there are many other methods of lead generation that we don't have time to go into now, from online video and ebooks publishing to PR and social media. Craig, I turn it over to you, and thank you.
Fantastic. Well, thank you, Bob, for the really information-packed event. We had lots of great questions that came in. Folks, what we'll do is, I know we're running towards the end. If you want to hang on for a couple minutes and type in your questions, if your question didn't get covered, please do type it into the question bar. As I said, we'll keep the webinar window open for a few more minutes. And as I said, we'll pull together a white paper with those questions and obviously the answers associated with them. Again, thanks again for joining us, everybody. We really do appreciate if you can forward this on to other folks. As I said, share, tweet, LinkedIn, send a note, whatever. We love it if you could share the content even further. Bob, thanks for all the wonderful ideas. And in our continuing events, too, yeah, what we'll do is we'll continue to drill down into some of the specifics and talk about, more detail about, various lead generation methods in some of our future events together.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everybody. We're going to sign off audioly, as I said, but we will keep the window open for additional questions if you want to go ahead and send them in. Thanks again for joining us. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.